We're good.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Refinement. Today, I want to talk about the New York Times article saying that thrifting is dead. Christine is here to help answer questions. So if you have found that to be the case, please throw it in the comment section. What have you noticed? What have you not noticed? Let me know how you feel the state of thrifting is. For me, I would say it's similar. Like, I feel like the amount of donations where I live is similar. The prices have gone up, but the actual supply is similar. So I don't know what you guys' experience has been. I think the people are still buying new stuff. People are still moving around a lot. There's a lot of people moving. There's still donations. So for me personally, I've still been able to find quality goods. It is a bit more expensive. Um, Also today I want to talk about contrasting that with retail arbitrage or online arbitrage or wholesale, buying brand new items to sell. And I've been doing that off and on for the last few months to test. And I think I have a good idea with how to sell brand new items as well. So if you guys have any questions on new tags, retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, I have some insight I think is hopefully powerful for you. So let me know in the comment section below. But me personally, I don't think thrifting is dead. The article is interesting because it says that it's difficult to find great brands at low prices. I mean, but it's always been that hard. Like 99% of the thrift store where I live is Forever 21 or lower. So it's always been like that since I started. Fast fashion is not new. So I've seen fast fashion be like that for a long time. The equivalent of fast fashion, in my opinion, for hard goods is the stuff you buy on Amazon. Use it a couple times, throw it away. It's not really well made, doesn't really last a long time. So that's just been my experience. So hopefully there's some questions in the chat about if thrifting is dead in your area. What do you guys pay? For me, jeans are in the $12.99, $14.99 range. Shoes are $25 to $30. Shirts are $8. Let's see. Hard goods, so like appliance or something, is between $10 and $20. And this is just in the regular Goodwill. In Goodwill, in the glass case, that stuff starts at $50. So 50 to 1,000 I've seen in those glass cases at the front of Goodwill. So here we have Salvation Army, we have thrift stores, we have St. Vincent, we have mom and pop shops, we have Goodwill bins. There are 5 Goodwill bins within 2 hours of here. We've got every single kind of thrift store where I live in California. So let me know what you guys' experience has been. Hopefully there are questions.
Yeah, they're saying that the sound is low. Do you want to
Is the sound
try
low?
taking the mic out and just using the box?
Let's see.
Just speaking into the box.
Sorry about that.
Just pull.
Oh, let me see. I'm hoping that it's not connected to the Wi-Fi. Let's see.
Yeah, you can check.
Let me see if that's okay. Hopefully that is
Sorry
better.
for the connection issues. Okay, there's a question from earlier from Nina saying, "Hey Chris, thanks for everything. I've learned so much in regards to sourcing. When picking up items, what sell-through rate are you looking for?"
Okay, so this is an interesting question, and it depends on the price. So I think on Saturday I had an epiphany because on Friday I slept 12 hours, and I usually don't do that. I went to bed at like 6 at night and woke up at 6 in the morning, and I realized I've been getting this question, and I always say it depends, but now I know exactly the right answer. So the sell-through rate actually depends on how fast you want to sell the item. So behind me, I have what I consider to be $2,000 profit. This is 200 items behind me that I should be able to comfortably average $10 profit per item. Now, this is kind of a loaded answer because on average, I want to sell these for $10 profit. There are items in here that can't earn $10 profit, and I'll give you an example. A Nike pair of shorts. Very difficult to make $10 profit. The market is not high enough on a generic pair of Nike shorts to make $10 profit. You might only make $2 to $5 profit. So why is it in the rack behind me? It's because it will sell quickly. I want to sell stuff like Nike shorts, J. Crew shorts, stuff that are things that people normally wear at a lower amount, so I can have cash flow to wait for the higher, more expensive items. For example, I have a pair of Diesel jeans in here, and for me, Diesel doesn't sell fast. So even though maybe it has a premium, maybe there's a lot in the solds, it's a more premium brand, and usually more premium brands than me, I need to wait a little bit longer for them to marinate in the eBay system. So for me, the average rate I want to be 90 days. But this is why people get thrown off. There are items in my store that I purposely sell for $2, $3, $4 profit to get the velocity going, to get people excited, to bring people into the store. And those don't average $10 profit. So people will say, oh, you only sell cheap items. But if you sort my store high to low, you'll be like, oh, wow, this guy only sells expensive items and this really slowly. So it really depends on the market that you're looking for. Overall, I would say 30 to 90 days is where you should aim for, and you can adjust that according to price. If you have a perfect listing, promoted, advertised right, shipping, returns, all that stuff is optimized, you can adjust how fast it sells by the price. And also remember that, like on this G-Shock watch, this watch is about $100. The strap, right? Maybe a replacement strap is $30. You discounting the strap to $10 may not make it sell faster, because for me, I probably would pay $30 to replace the strap, especially if there was only one on eBay. So sometimes there's not enough demand, so there's no reason to lower the price. Sometimes there's way too many of them, because maybe the G-Shock replacement strap is actually very cheap. Somebody can look that up right now. Maybe it's only $7.99 free shipping from China. In that scenario, lowering the price, because so many people are selling it at $7.99. If you sell it for $5.99, maybe yours pops first. So it depends. Pricing is an interesting question. It really is. It's the tool that everyone can use to adjust their sales, but it also comes straight out of your bottom line, comes out of your profit. Hopefully the sound is better, guys.
Yeah, they're saying it sounds better.
Okay.
Jeffrey the Giraffe has a question about whatnot shipping.
Yeah.
If I set the weight to charge $6 for shipping and it ends up costing $5 to ship the item, where does the extra $1 go? Sounds like a word problem.
I know it does sound like a word problem. It goes in the whatnots pocket. On some of the shipping labels are more and some are less. It sort of evens out. Whatnot has, I'm assuming they have a deal with Shippo. Shippo is the company that generates their labels and pays the post office. I imagine they have a sealed deal with the post office, which gives them a flat rate. For example, like Poshmark has Posh Post. They have an agreed amount for certain weights, certain limits. So it all gets billed to the same account. When you ship on Whatnot, you are using Whatnot shipping account. It's actually just like eBay. When you're doing eBay, you're actually using eBay's relationship with Pitney Bowes. Other sites, you actually are using your own relationship. Like when you use Pirate Ship, you actually are using your own USPS account, because when the amount is, like if you drop it off at the post office and you don't pay enough, they will bill or credit you the difference. So as an example, Pirate Ship on UPS, this is an important tip for everybody. I've been shipping a few wholesale boxes, so I just dropped on dailyrefinement.com the different kinds of wholesale that I offer, and I really only offer a couple of things. One is wholesale jeans, and the other is random thrifted items that I find. So those are the two things that I offer. Because of my relationship with UPS is my own account, I mismarked the boxes, and I'll explain this. The boxes that I use are 24 by 18 by 18. Because jeans are so heavy, it makes the box bulge. So it ends up scanning into the system as 24 by 19 by 19. So it actually makes the box bulge a tiny bit, and it rounds up inside the system in UPS. If you also have a bulge on the top of the box, it can get damaged along the way because it's not flat, and also they'll charge you more for that additional amount. So I recommend that you round up. I got lucky because the difference between 18 inches and 19 inches is only 3 cents. Okay, but sometimes it pushes you into a different bracket, and it can be like $50 more, and they'll charge you the misrepresentation fee, which can be up to $200. So if you have your own account, they will bill you. Almost every single USPS account now bills the original shipper for the mistake. So on eBay, you get billed the difference, and on Whatnot, you don't, because you're using their account. So it's interesting how shipping works, and you don't get credited the difference. The money, I guess to answer your question, the money goes into Whatnot's shipping account.
Santos Treasures says Goodwill in New York City is selling used jerseys at a higher dollar than retail stores.
Yeah, it's the case here, and also it's cool to find used stuff, so it's not uncommon. Yesterday on Friday I went to Fisherman's Wharf, and people were selling vintage t-shirts for more than new. That's not uncommon. People actually like buying stuff that's vintage, and the older it is, sometimes it yields a higher price than retail. Now in some situations it doesn't make sense, like some Goodwill sell USPS priority boxes and they're free. They'll be like $4 for this pack of boxes, but those boxes are free from like post office. So it's not all perfect. Post office, I mean, Goodwill always has some items that are overpriced. Your job is to find the items that are underpriced.
Heather Payne says, things are great in my area, Illinois. And MO, I forget what that is. My struggle is
Missouri.
to find, oh, Missouri. My struggle is to find a niche because there are so many opportunities. Do you have any recommendations on how to narrow it down to make a choice?
Yes. So, guys, I just started a Twitter. Go me. So on my Twitter, I have a new series. I'm going to call it How to Get Rich Reselling Without Getting Lucky. And I'm going to put in all my best tips in there. One-liners, it's free, and it's just for fun. So if you guys want to follow me on Twitter at Daily Refinement, that would be great. And in there, I put how to narrow down. Essentially, what you have to do is think about if you could only sell one item. So why would you pick that? You'd be forced to think about it. So even if you don't sell one item, you sell everything, think about what you would want to sell ideally. So let me give you guys an example. The reason why I pick clothing is not because I like it. Somebody posted on my YouTube channel yesterday, I don't want to be like you. I like what I sell. And so just because you can do it in 12 hours doesn't mean I'm not happy doing it in 14 hours. That's exactly what the comment says. So somebody takes 14 hours to make the same amount of money that I do in 2 hours, but they're more happy. And my response is, you do you, but I have 10 hours or 12 hours to do whatever I want. I picked clothing because it's easy to find where I live. Where I live, it's generally size 0, size 2, size 4, or plus size. Where I live, jeans are pretty plentiful and outerwear is awesome. Where I live, I find Patagonia, Marmot, Mountain Hardware every single day. But I never find Carhartt, I never find Duluth Trading Company. I've only seen one Southern Tide in my entire life. I've never heard of the brand Dixon until it popped up in our Facebook group. I mean, it's regional. So where you live, I recommend you buy what is available in your area. And niching down comes from what do you not like doing. I don't like making boxes. So I loved my eBay shipping process because there's no boxes. Now I switched to whatnot. I have to make a box every single order and it's a huge pain. So it depends on what you're going for. And also you have to really think about your end customer. Who do you want to serve? I like serving, my partner in the Facebook group only, Tech and Sports, says that you don't need a user manual and you don't need to provide tech support for a shirt. It's true. It either fits or it doesn't. If it doesn't fit, I offer free returns. So it is what it is. I'm hoping one day eBay lets me back on their platform. But for now, I'm trying to decide what to do next. And it might be just my own website. Maybe I find a cool pair of, I found this Converse shirt jacket. It's really cool, right? On eBay, I would ask $19.99 plus shipping. Maybe now on my own website, I charge $12.99 plus shipping. And I do my own marketing. One thing I'm going to do that's interesting is I actually put this entire lot of clothing behind me on my website for $2,000. So 200 pieces for $2,000. And I'm going to stream these items right after this. So probably nobody is going to buy it in the next half an hour. But if somebody buys it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stream all this stuff and I'll pay you the difference. I guarantee you I will make more than $2,000. I just know because the value of the items is much higher. So somebody could in the next half an hour buy this inventory behind me for $2,000. I'm going to stream these items on Whatnot after, and I could pay you the difference. I originally was going to ship it to whoever bought it because I wanted to test, can somebody really make $2,000 with these items, which is 6 figures. So my thought is, in my tweet storm, I'm going to call it tweet storm because that's what Naval calls it, I break down $100,000 income. So if you guys are watching right now, maybe pause or pull over and write this down. How I think you should do it is 1 or 2 days looking for items. So can you find 200 items that are $10 profit in 2 days or less, right? 3 days out of the week, process 70 a day. So that will take around 6 hours, five or 6 hours to process 70 a day. Then you have 2 days off. 2 days off, you can do whatever you want. You could take it off. You could also work more if you want to do that. But I think that's sustainable because 2 days sourcing, pick the same 2 days, go every single week. The 3 days of 70, you can arrange those depending on your schedule. I recommend doing it the same day, but I was going to do that and have somebody do it. But I will do it again next week because I have no problem finding 200 items a week that are $10 profit or higher. Some of the items in this are like $50 profit. So the example of is thrifting dead? I think it's not dead because people's buying habits didn't change. People are still trying to look cool. People are still trying to get a deal. I haven't seen anything change with the market. It's been the same.
Scott Raymond says, "Hey Chris, I'm trying to set up a shipping policy similar to the one you used to have,
Yeah.
where 2 or more items ship for $9.99. Do you have a video on how to set that up?"
I need to. So we need to write this down and do it. In our group, Mandy actually went through this with Isaiah on how to create a combined shipping rule in the promotions tab. So, but I should make that video to help explain to people how I was able to do $8.99 for one item and $9.99 for 2 or more items. And the reason why I did that is because the $9.99 only kicks in for, like, why would I charge only $1 for an additional item? Because most of the time I would lose money on that transaction because it costs more than $1 to ship an additional item. The reason why I did that is because I wouldn't have to accept the best offer because that only applies if people pay full price on my asking. So essentially I was like trading. I'll give you a good deal on shipping if you don't make an offer. Just look through my store, buy 10 items, you pay $10 shipping, that's $1 an item. $1 an item is a magical place for the buyer mentality. And if you guys look at my Whatnot auctions, I'm trying to do it so shipping is $1 an item because I know mentally that feels like a great deal. Like people think he's charging $1 for shipping on a bulk lot. I'm not being overcharged, right? They might, because people do know that shipping costs money, but they also want to pay as little as possible. Free shipping is hard, so that's why I did the combined shipping. You can also do shipping rules, which is a little bit more complicated. Bo in the group also goes over how you can pass the discount to the customer if you want to. So because we are top rated sellers in the group, you get a discount on shipping. If you want, you can pass that discount right to your buyer. I don't know why you would do that, but you could. Inside the eBay settings in your shipping policies, you can pass your special discount for being an awesome seller to the customer, giving them an even better deal. But in my opinion, that sounds weird. Like I pay $9, so I'm gonna give you shipping for $8.62. That's not as like aggressive as being like all my items are $5.99 shipping. That's a good deal because if somebody understands shipping, which most people do now, they know that that's under the cost. So shipping policies is something important. Also, guys, we have 12 days left for the reseller eBay white papers to be included in the monthly subscription to my Patreon. So after July 31st, it's going to be the full annual bonus. So we want to encourage people to take their time. So if you sign up for the annual Patreon, you will get the white papers for free, which is the best 10 videos we have on how to do this. If you want to just join at the monthly level anyway in the future, you can access most of this information just in our calls. It's just not all in one place, and we revise it if there's any changes. So we've been doing it for a long time. Tech and Sports is my partner in the group only. We've been explaining to people how to build an online business. And that tweet that I wrote on Twitter, which is 2 days sourcing, 3 days processing, I think that's very, very manageable for most people.
Aaron says, "I currently have a small store, 250 items. I'm in the UK. If I join Patreon, will it still be helpful with not being in the US? Really looking to scale my business."
Yeah, I would say at least 10% of our group is in the UK, and also we have people in the Highlands. So we have people from Scotland and Wales in the group also. We also have a UK-based call every other Wednesday with Zahir. So Z&B, you probably follow them if you're in the UK. They lead our UK-based call, which was awesome. Last week was the first one. It was great. My favorite word, chuffed, came up. Somebody said they were chuffed to bits, so I mean that's awesome. So I mean it really was we joke that it's the same thing but with a British accent, but it's different. Honestly, there's some different stuff in the UK than there is here, so it's fun. If you join that call, please don't chime in if you're not from the UK because it's for our UK sellers and there's at least 200 people in there. So last week's call was awesome because it was talking about how difficult it is to remove variables. It's so easy to add variables, like let's add in trains. Let's add in ukuleles. That's easy, but it's hard to say, like it came up earlier in the call, how to narrow down to only ukuleles. That would be difficult to mentally focus like that. So the UK-based call is awesome, and yeah, I love it. And they also say super more, which I like. I like the word super.
Anastasia says, I have 250 free listings a month of eBay, and
Yeah.
I list to maintain that number. Should I upgrade to an eBay store?
The eBay store doesn't help you get any more traffic. It's just a way to get more insertion fees. So when I started my eBay store, the first day I signed up for the premium store because I wanted to do at least 10,000 items. So I just signed up for it, and it starts to pay for itself at around 1,000. So it's up to you. It's not relevant. An eBay store does not increase your listing limits, which will probably come up in a question. Your listing limits will naturally raise if you just are a top rated seller for 2 or 3 months. Doesn't take very long. My limit went from 10 listings total to, even though I signed up for a store subscription day one or early and got 5,000 or 1,000 listings, I couldn't use them in the beginning because they only give you a 10 item limit or a 5 item limit. Or I think somebody said they had a 1 item limit, but I don't know if that's true. But as you do a good job, they'll just give you more and more listings. So I recommend use your free listings, but 10 cents shouldn't stop you from making $10. Does that make sense? Because that's like stepping over dollars to save pennies. Is that what that's called? So it's like, I'll make $10 listing this, but I don't want to pay the 10 cents. That doesn't make sense.
Michael says, do sneaker resellers make money on having shoes restored on eBay, or is it a waste of time?
You can restore sneakers. You can professionally clean sneakers. You can customize sneakers. I generally think it's a waste of time unless you charge a lot. And also you need to find the right buyer that wants to pay for your art. So typically I find that it's not a really good example. I think there's a guy on Instagram that customizes Air Force Ones and he does quite well. He sells like 10 a day for $300. So that's $1 million business, 10 $300 Air Force Ones a day. But he has a huge Instagram following and he's really built up a clientele. And if you get really good at that, you can make a lot of money because people who love Air Force Ones, which is this silhouette, right, will pay a lot of money to customize one. In Soho at 21 Mercer Street, you can pay $900 to make your own Air Force One out of any material. You can go into the Nike shop and they'll make you one of one bespoke Air Force One for $900. So if you're a really good designer and you want to make these the white on white, repaint it, redo it, add some cool stuff to it, that would be worth extra money. So you got to have a reputation and you got to do a good job. I would be, I think, average at best at picking the right colors to make it work.
Thomas says, buyer selected a shipping carrier. If I choose a cheaper carrier, does eBay charge me from my net profit for my selected carrier rather than taking the shipping charges from the buyer's shipping payment?
No, they don't, but your customer might be mad. So Heart Pickers, shout out to Ronnie. I remember him telling a story where somebody paid for USPS Express or Priority, so 2 to 3 day, and he was like, "Oh, I'll save a couple bucks and I'll ship it something cheaper." And customer didn't get it in time. They left a negative feedback. He ruined their vacation. So I mean, don't do that. Whatever people pay for, ship for that or better. I'll tell you an example of what I do. I offer the $8.99. People were asking my business policy before was for economy shipping actually. I charge $8.99 for economy shipping and $9.99 for premium shipping, which means that at two or more, every item after the second item ships for free. Because the $8.99 economy shipping and the $9.99 premium shipping was priority mail and the $8.99 was first class. Now here's the thing, 99% of my items were priority, right? So they got an automatic upgrade. So when they're buying, it says it'll arrive in 7 to 8 days, but really it gets there in 3. So that's over delivering. You have the opposite effect. Don't choose the cheaper option. That'll make your customers mad. They will leave a negative.
Vanya says, hello, what is your opinion on reselling children's clothes?
I would say just from now having my experience with my 1-year-old, children's clothing doesn't sell for very much. You could sell it in lots. It's also free. Like there's a million websites where you can get children's clothes for free. So it's difficult I don't like competing with free. There's not a lot of websites where you can get adult clothing for free. That's why I don't really go towards kids clothing. It does sell really well. There are bolos and you can sell kids clothing for 100, 200. I think that Cindy in our group had a pair of vintage junior jeans that sold for like 90, which is ridiculous to me. That's a lot for kids clothing. But I mean, it doesn't sell for a lot of money, and there's too much of it. There's so much baby stuff that like we're in a couple of buy nothing groups, and kids clothing is number one. People will give you 80 pieces of kids clothing for free. Sometimes they'll drive it to you because they just want the space, and it's eco-friendly to recycle all the same stuff. And I would say that like one time I posted on YouTube that I wanted baby books and clothing, and that was insane. So I like, thank you, we don't need any more. There's so much of it. So like I don't recommend selling stuff where there's too much supply. Too much supply. And the demand's very high, but too much supply. Now, in the baby category, what I would sell Ollie swaddles. That thing always goes out of stock. I would follow all of the baby bloggers. The hot thing is the slumber pod thing. That thing was on Shark Tank. It's $180. It's a tent. It's like a $5 tent. It costs $180. And they did do a lot of technology to make it safe for babies. Like, it's more breathable. It's completely dark, so you could put it over your baby and they sleep in pitch darkness, even when you're traveling. It's a cool invention, right? That would be something I learned how to resell or learn how to get an affiliate deal for the baby category. Baby category is very heavily dependent on influencers. So baby category is awesome. We followed all those people, and all of the tips that they give are awesome. So I recommend, if you're gonna have a baby or you have kids, take all that sleep training stuff, because it made me a better human being. I learned how I can also, an adult, have sleep training and recognize sleepy cues. And if you're angry or pissed off, probably because you're tired or hungry, same as a baby. So it's interesting, but kids clothing taught me a lot about the market. Also, we are on our second Up a Baby stroller because the first one was stolen. So they're valuable. We paid $150 on Craigslist for a $700 stroller, and after it was stolen, somebody in one of the buy nothing groups sold us theirs for $150. So we got another one in that group. So it's good to pay attention to what it is, because we want to pay $150 for this, and somebody had one. It was actually a newer one with much better wheels, and the ride actually does matter. When you're walking around, I recommend getting the stroller with the biggest wheels. It just makes for a smoother ride. Baby stuff is hit or miss.
Thank you for the super chat. The
Thank you.
traveling picker Patties. They say, right now, my favorite YouTuber / teacher did a video yesterday talking about your ability to inspire hard work and handle things better. Thank you.
You're welcome. I figured out my role in life, okay? So I know what I'm supposed to do here. Most of the reselling has already been explained. Most of it is free. Actually, the best way to do reselling is with no money. So you learn how to reinvest profits. That's also in my tweet storm. The best way to start, even if you have money, is with no money, because you turn zero, your own things, into $10. You turn that $10 into $20, 20 into 40. But I know why I'm here, right? What I'm here for is to train you guys, remind you of the things that are important, and then also to motivate you. So everyone listening right now can do more and more and more. And I am going to share something, be a little bit vulnerable here. I do feel like because in our book club, we're reading 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And the first habit is be proactive. And I felt like at this point, I am so proactive that I'm actually a bit cold. That's how I feel. Because like, my tolerance and patience is so low that if it's not what I think it's gonna be, I just move on. So like, I think I'm not gonna spend time and figure out what's wrong with it. Like, so as an example, if I order something at a restaurant, it comes and it's different, I'm not even gonna complain. I'm just gonna eat it and then move on. I'm not going to spend the time to say, hey, did you get the order wrong? I just don't. So I feel like it's a little bit cold because I'm not interested in that. You can pick your battles, right? So I'm thinking there's so much going on right now. I have employees, there's people who rely on me. I want to have, that's more important to me, and it's made me cold to other things. So being proactive means I'm trying to make sure there's enough inventory for my employees, because people keep saying, oh, you can do it because you have staff. Are you serious? It's way harder. Mm-hmm. Trying to do this with staff, you guys should put this in the chat, whether or not you think if you actually think it's easier, doing it with staff, let me know. I want to know. Do you really think that? Because it's not. It's totally different. I don't dream, but in theory, I could be like, you know what? One day all this is gone. No YouTube, no mentorship group. Just me by myself listing 30 items a day in 2 hours. That sounds peaceful. No workers, no one late, no one sick. I don't have to deal with their issues. They don't have to deal with my issues. If I'm in a bad mood, it makes everybody's mood bad. I can't even do that. So it's like if I come on the YouTube and I'm in a bad mood, 10,000 people will be in a bad mood. I gotta step it up. So I'm not here to say suck it up and do your work, because that's maybe not the right way to deliver that message, but that is the purpose of this, is to help you make more money, save more time. And I appreciate people supporting the channel because it helps me do that on a larger scale. Like, if it wasn't for you guys listening right now, I wouldn't be able to afford a videographer. I wouldn't be able to afford an editor. Wouldn't be able to afford to be able to do that because it's hard. Doing it and then explaining it is totally different. So the people who say, those who can't do teach, show me. Show me someone who's really good at teaching, they can't do it. They can at least do the basics and recognize what is right. I totally disagree with that. It's really quite difficult to explain. People who are high performers sometimes can't explain. Like tons of super elite athletes are not great coaches. So I don't know. I feel like you have to at least understand a little bit. I think that's why Steve Kerr is a great coach for the Warriors, because he was an elite player already, right? So it's different than if your bosses can't do it. I don't know if that's something different. Like on my Whatnot streams, I get more money per item, not just because of personality. There's more to it. There's more technique. I actually am writing down all the different things that provide value. I'm going off on a little bit of a diatribe here before questions, but I feel like Whatnot is different. Whatnot is entertainment based. And now that I am learning about life, I realize that entertainment is so much more valuable than education. That's sad. But if you're an entertainer, you make more money than an educator. Everyone can agree on that, right? You're a movie star, you make way more than best teacher ever. Way more. It's like you get paid $10 million a movie versus 30 grand a year. Like it's not even remotely close. I look at the salaries of teachers, and it's like 40 to 60, where I live, 40 to 60 grand for just a normal teacher. That's pretty challenging to get by. And I don't know, it's just interesting that education, I could go on to Whatnot and explain every single detail. This is a pair of silver tab jeans. Silver tab is awesome. This is the tag. This is the year. This is what makes this comfortable. This is the cut, the style. This is how you wash it. And they could sell for $1. But I could tell you, I could have flashing lights jump up and down, do a raffle, throw in a bonus, and now the same pair of jeans sells for $100. That's the entertainment value of Whatnot. It's different than eBay. Although if you guys remember eBay from the old days, they did have flashing and jumping emoji and GIFs. They don't allow that anymore though, at least not from my understanding. It has to be mobile friendly now.
Marley said,
If you have a smaller store and you're trying to bring in staff, you can't pay them a full-time living. So it's sort of like, can you come work for me sometimes for a little bit of money versus can you come work for me, pay all your bills? It's different. So it's different to approach.
yeah. Sorry about the connection issues if it happens. Yeah, definitely.
We have 13 minutes, guys. I got to go right at 11 because in our group we have a shoe call. So.
Okay, we'll pick out some specific questions.
Yep.
Rogic has a question. Is it better to ship with eBay or pirate ship?
It's the same. Pirate ship allows you to do cubic shipping, and it's easier to use for UPS in my opinion, but it's the same. If you integrate it with eBay, I would recommend you actually use eBay and not pirate ship because eBay is faster. So it depends on your flow. You're looking for cheaper or international rates because pirate ship has cheaper international. I recommend using eBay's global shipping program.
It says, I'm up to 900 items on my store and I'm finally implanting an inventory system with my shelves. Am I able to input SKUs of all my items in a fast way, or does it have to be one by one in my store?
I recommend one by one. 900 will only take you one weekend and a couple Red Bulls. You can knock it all out. But if you want to do it bulk, I don't recommend doing it bulk, but if you want to do it bulk, what you would do is you would get a bunch of your items in order, and then you would open up the bulk editor, and then you would edit all the SKUs at once. But I kind of don't recommend doing that because you could screw up 50 items at the same time. I recommend doing one at a time. Now is a perfect time to go back and revise all 900 of those items. You have a little bit of experience under your belt. Go back and make those 900 items sell fast. Back to my new with tags discussion for just a moment. I figured out new with tags. You have to sell out. The cost of new with tags is so expensive that you can't hold on to inventory. So Lululemon cost me $20,000. That's a lot. When I go thrifting, I only spend $1,000. It's a different 20 times more money. So I don't want to sit on the Lululemon. I'd rather sell it at a break even or a small profit than sit on it. So my strategy with new with tags is, you guys watch my Whatnot auctions. New with tags, I'm going to sell for really cheap because I want to get it all out of my inventory. I don't want to get stuck with all this expensive inventory. You got to pass the good deal to the customer. That's how I recommend doing new with tags. Thank you.
Let's see. Secondhand CEO says, is it more important for eBay titles to read well or for them to have as many keywords as possible?
In our group, we talked about the order of titles. That's maybe the most difficult part of eBay and the most powerful. So the answer is both. You want it to be easy to read, and so that makes sense. You know how you pronounce it? Shein. But like, it used to be Forever 21.
Yeah.
So
Which is also kind of fast fashion.
It's the same. Fast fashion is not new.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get like, they can produce fast fashion as soon as they see it on the runway. So H&M, Zara to a certain extent, actually Zara for sure. Zara can produce an item that they see on the fashion runway, I think in less than a day. So literally, it could come out, something popular, they can re-engineer and have it being produced tomorrow. Like that's how fast fashion is. So it's not new. I don't know. What do you guys think? In the article, it says that you can't do that anymore, but it's been the same. My thrifting journey is the same. I find the same number of items. It just costs more.
Heather Payne says, which price level do I need to purchase to get the white pages? I'm a new serious seller, sold on eBay here and there for 20 years. I'm on a tight budget, but I want to start out.
If you sign up for the $4.99 level, you get the podcast only, and we've done about 100 of them. So there's 100 episodes of the podcast now, and that's a really good place to get started if you want to save money, because for $5, you also get coaching on the first Wednesday of the month. So $5 is a good way to see if you like the group or not. And if you don't like it for any reason, at any tier, we'll give you your money back. Just let us know at the end of the month after you've tried it. Give it an honest try. If you don't make more money, save more time, we'll give you your money back. $34.99 is the Facebook level tier, and that tier, you get the mentorship group, you get the white papers, you get a full year. I'm sorry, it's monthly or annual. But this is the last month that the monthly will get access to the white papers. After that, next month, it'll be annual only as a bonus for the annual people to get it. It's a bonus for our Patreon members. It's not designed to be a course because that's not how reselling works. Like, it takes time to set everything up. And then our $99 tiers, we've been doing for a while, and we're gonna cap it at 50 people. It's at 38 people right now. And that's just a bi-weekly call with Tech and Sports and myself, where we go over your ideas in a little bit more detail, but it's honestly not necessary. You don't need the $99 tier because you can access me Monday through Friday in the morning calls anyway. And we're both on the podcast. You can ask us questions every single week. And Tech does a 5-hour call on Tuesday, and he's the greatest reseller of all time. So like, 5 hours with the greatest reseller of all time for $35 is the most ridiculous deal ever. There are people who've done more in retail, but resell, I don't know anyone that's even remotely close to that, because 250 sales a day, that's like, most people are struggling to get 5 sales a day. 250 sales a day is insane. So like, just me listening to him is, I don't even know how to describe the compound growth in me. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, I'm very different than 5 years ago. So $34 tier
is the best value.
Is the best value by far.
Let's see. carries.
Also, no, it will charge you as soon as you sign up, and it'll charge you again on the first. So you get to pay. You have to pay for all the previous content, and then it recurs every first of the month. So if you use it and you get all the value out of it, because some people graduate, some people join the group, get to the point where they're killing it, and then they just leave the group, which is fine. We were trying to get people to graduate into running their own business, however long that takes.
Hector Garcia says, I have a 290 item store currently that's 70 days old. My click-through is about 0.5%, and my sales conversion is about 4.2%. Is the click-through worrisomely low?
It depends on your category, because click-through means people see it, but they don't click on it, right? Mm-hmm. So it depends on if you're promoting your listings or not. So if it's promoting to, like if where your items are being presented, your item is not relevant, the click-through rate will be low because people see it, but it's not what they're looking for. Having a conversion rate of 4% means once they click on it, 4 out of every 100 people think it's a good idea, and that is a very, very high sell-through rate. Sell-through rate. So it depends on what it is. Like if it's a $100 bill for $90, then a 4% sell-through rate would be horrible, because unless you did a horrible job, 100% of people would buy $100 for $90. So it just depends. I wouldn't worry about click-through rate, sell-through rate. If you're under 3,000 items, I would just focus on quality items going up and how many items you sell each day, how many you list each day. So how many you list, how many you sell. I wouldn't worry about click-through rate in the beginning.
Okay. It is 10:56.
We'll do one more question.
Okay. Sunshine62 says, Chris, do you have any specific camera that you use to take photos? I am not a smartphone person, and my small Canon digital seems to struggle with lighting.
I recommend the ELPH 180. It's in my bit.ly/reseller supplies. So get the Canon ELPH. It's relatively inexpensive. I think it's under $200. It's not my favorite camera, but it's the best camera. Okay, so like it's relatively foolproof. You can just take pictures of it, remove the memory card, plug the memory card into an SD card reader. You can immediately start listing. Other cameras take a little bit more work, and they're not as dumbed down. And even though I hate that camera, as far as like I don't like it, it's the best camera for eBay because it's cheap, it never breaks, it takes pictures in landscape mode, which I call hot dog mode. Landscape mode never screws up. It looks good on mobile and it looks good on the computer. So I recommend the Canon ELPH 180. Not paid by them unless you buy it through the affiliate link, which I appreciate. We'll call it a day. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to go on Whatnot in an hour, and I'm going to stream this. These 200 items and try to make $2,000 profit in one day. And I'm essentially going to try to do a week's worth of work in 4 hours to give you guys an idea of what the brands are, and then hopefully I can set it up so I can record it as I'm doing it. That way I can show you guys all the different items in detail. So I appreciate you guys. We're going to start the shoot call in our Patreon group. Make sure you join. It's $34.99 per month. For the Facebook group, you get 24-hour access to the Facebook group, and the Zoom call is open all day. There's people in our Zoom call answering and asking questions 24 hours a day. So you get access to 24-hour help, Facebook group. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Thanks for hanging out. Sorry for the connection issues.